You see it all the time in low limit. It's a 10-handed table. Everybody's in. And when it gets to the button, he says, pot odds! And he calls or even raises with 4-2 offsuit. If he flops 2 pair, trips, or straight, he's thinking of winning a monster pot. And if he does flop trips or a straight, or even an open-end straight, he probably will win that monster pot. But what are his chances? What's the probability he'll do so? What's his expected value? I'm going to give you some probabilities now to help figure this out. With a trash hand such as 4-2, you're going to flop 2 pair a gigantic 2% of the time. And if you have 2 pair on the flop, you'll get a boat 33% of the time by the river. That's pretty good. Trips. Your chances of flopping trips are 1%. And a straight, 1/3 of 1%. The board's going to pair, but not give you a full house 16% of the time. When that happens, your bottom 2 pair are worthless. So, you're going to win less than 3% of the time, but let's just round it off to a 3% chance of winning. Let's see how that pays off. If you raised on the button and everybody called 3, there would now be 20 small bets in the pot. You catch on the flop. In all likelihood, if it is a very loose table, once the flop betting is done, there might be as many as another 8 small bets in the pot. We're now up to 28 small bets or 14 big bets. The turn gets to another 6 big bets, and the river another 4. There are 24 big bets in the pot, and you win. We'll also assume that if you don't catch on the flop, you fold. Since you raised on the button, your loss would be 2 small bets or 1 big bet. Does this strategy work out? Let's forget you being outdrawn when you stay in. Let's forget smaller than 24 big bets in the pot. Let's forget about the extra bets you have to spend when you win and those you spend when you're outdrawn. Let's look only at you winning 24 big bets 3% of the time compared to you losing 1 big bet each time you fold on the flop. Well, take a look at this graph. You're going to win 0.03 times 24 or 0.72 big bets on average. You're going to lose 0.97 times 1 or 0.97 big bets on average. It's actually more because we assumed a monster pot and ignored the extra bets you would have to put in when you catch. At a 10-20 table, if you lose at least 1/4 of a big bet on average, that means you lose at least $5 on average every time you play this hand. Well, does this change when you're playing no limit? Sure, because the amount of the pot can be greater, and which turns your expected value positive. But that seldom happens.